the Congress has pulled it off pretty smoothly.
Well, it's pulled it off smoothly in the last 3 days. It has not pulled it off smoothly in the last 3 years. So I don't think that, we feel like this is a smooth transition, because the entire of Karnataka has been like, when is this going to happen? Finally, it's happened. So it's a sigh of relief, because people want to get away from this constant who's going to be chief minister, who's not, and get to the governance part of it, get to the administration part of it. Now the real, hard work needs to happen. Now it's going to start. But if you're going by the record of the Congress party, I think that we're going to have a lot of fodder for a lot of issues for the opposition in the next 2 years, just by the fact that Mr. DK Shivakumar, Shiv, you're seeing it rain here today. You saw it yesterday as well. It'll take 5 minutes for Bengaluru to start flooding.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of journalists post about how you don't have to make a trip to Venice, it's right here. It'll take 5 minutes. A big challenge of Bengaluru's infrastructure that the DCM could not solve. Now you have no hurdle, now you have no excuses. The entire government administration is in your hands. You have not done a GB election. GBA is under the state government effectively. So how are you going to solve Bengaluru? The caste survey, the socio-economic survey has been put forth. Internal reservation is a matter. Vacant seats in government services. Students are protesting. It's going to be a deficit monsoon this time around. There's going to be farmer distress. Challenges are coming your way. And as much as I appreciate you doing the astrologer interview, the planets, even when the planets align, the people might not.
Okay. Surbhi's come with her ammunition magazine fully loaded against the man who's just been elected the CLP leader and will be the new Chief Minister of Karnataka. So I think Surbhi's basically signaling the BJP is not on the back foot, but nothing less is expected.
The BJP is today, I'd say, these problems that they mention of potholes and infrastructure were also in the time of Yediyurappa and Basuraj Bommai. And this Nataka in Karnataka was also when Yediyurappa was dethroned. Basuraj Bommai came in and there were 3 deputy chief ministers from BJP itself. For them to be holier than thou is absolutely wrong today. Also, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, the much they say about Karnataka, the Siddaramaiah 3 years was the second largest contributor of the GDP of the nation. Number 2 in GST collection. Bengaluru, startup capital of India, Silicon Valley of the East. And we have outpaced the national growth by 6.2% in GDP. For the BJP to say all is bad is absolutely not true. And what did they do about potholes and infrastructure? Yediyurappa and Bommai were the chief ministers.
If you leave Surbhi and Syed, this will descend into a proper what happened during BJP time, what happened to Congress.
Just one thing, which is that 135, that is the majority you came into power with. 135 is something that in the recent past, Karnataka has not seen at all. So to give excuses that we didn't do it, you didn't do it, now is the time. Now DK Shivakumar has run out of other excuses also. You are completely in control. Now you deliver. If not, 2028 is a better bonus for us.
Chandan, I will bring you in, and I have to go back to inside the Vidhan Saudha right now, because the Congress Legislative Party has expressed its gratitude to Siddaramaiah. And I would say that, between the BJP and the Congress, all this can happen. But ultimately, the onus is on the person in the saddle. Yes. And now DK Shivakumar is in. The political drama and the thrillers are done. The Congress Legislature Party has expressed its gratitude to Siddaramaiah, and even as it rains absolutely pelting rain here in the beautiful city of Bengaluru, the CLP has extended its heartfelt gratitude, recalling his distinguished service to the people of Karnataka and the Congress Party. The party has said that the people of Karnataka and the Congress workers would always remember with pride and affection his tenure as Chief Minister from 2013 to 2018 and from 2023 to 2026, as well as a service as leader of the opposition during 2 terms. Deepak, is the CLP over officially, or is it still on? What's happening there?
So that resolution that I just put out, Shiv, it was read out, and then that is something as well officially that the CLP will acknowledge. But the proceedings, what everyone has been waiting for, that is over. The first one was Mr. Siddaramaiah stepping down, announcing that he resigned as the Chief Minister, and then announcing that he's stepping down as the leader of the Congress Legislature Party. Then that meeting that happened where the AICC accepted his resignation, and then Mr. Siddaramaiah going ahead and proposing Mr. DK Shivakumar's name, and then it was G. Parmeshwar who seconded that proposal, and then it was the legislature party that accepted that proposal as well, electing Mr. DK Shivakumar as their new leader. After he was elected, now he has moved the resolution in the Congress Legislature Party, basically talking about the contribution that Mr. Siddaramaiah, the outgoing Legislature Party leader, made, remembering him during his tenure of 2013 to 2018, 2023 to 26, as well as his service as a leader of the opposition during 2 terms as well, and various other aspects, of course, that they have mentioned. So a formality is done. now you see there's a lot of activity that's happening in the corridors of the Vidhan Sabha. You can start expecting legislators to really step out and start making their way down. And what timing, Shiv? It seems like the rain gods are here to witness this moment as well, or probably if Mr. DK Shivakumar would want to term it, bless him, because it is a moment that he's been waiting for, and it's pouring, and now it will be a little bit of a frenzy when the legislators come out.
If we actually check,
it's a short distance, Shiv.
The moment when the rain started may actually be the moment when he was named the CLP leader. We never know. It may be as simple as that, but it's incredible. The weather has just opened up completely here in Bengaluru, chasing us down here, but we stay live here on NDTV. We do not edge away. But Chandan, I want to quickly bring you in. As journalists, we're always looking for the drama, the suspense, the dilemma, what's going to happen now. That is done now. All the procedures are finished. No more room as far as the transition is concerned for any more suspense. That is done. But you're right, because now the Game of Thrones becomes about the deputy chief ministers and the ministers. They're all spending sleepless nights because nobody knows who gets to retain their ministership, who gets a chance, who has sniffing their moment. That's where the scene shifts now.
No, Shiv, I think there is some sense that a few very high-performing ministers will be retained.
Like who? Take some names.
Krishna Bairagoda, for example. I mean, he's been most visible for his work, and his dedication is not in doubt. Priyanka Kharge is another person I can think of right away. Anyway, so I think people like that and very powerful people like Parmeshwar, for example, he's too important a leader to be drawn.
His name's doing the rounds as a deputy chief minister now.
But so many names are doing the rounds. But he may not want to be that, I feel. He's been that once already. He's too senior, perhaps, for that role. And also the MLC ships and then the Rajya Sabha MPs, they're all, I think, things that are part of this orchestration of accommodation. Also, what Belur Dwarkanath said, Shiv, I absolutely enjoyed, like all the viewers of NDTV, you're exclusive with him. And he said, it's going to be tough, but this is going to be a crown of thorns for him. But laying out there, he needs to forget his family, his people, and for the success of Karnataka, selflessly work for this. And this is a good omen for a DK Shivakumar. Sure. He would say it's tears of joy and rain gods are with him. So therefore, me as a Kannadiga, you as a Kannadiga, we're all Kannadigas, and we look for the flourishment of our beautiful state of Karnataka, where DK Shivakumar is able to hold the best for the state of Karnataka for the next 2 years, because this will set the ball rolling for the 2028 grand elections here.
Absolutely. So, Surbhi, any words about the mini Game of Thrones that's going to play out as far as cabinet formation is concerned?
I think we've discussed this.
Lots of jostling for deputy chief ministers. Apparently, the Siddaramaiah camp wants 4. DK Shivakumar is pushing back, saying 2. This is of course media speculation. But I should add, even though we say media speculation, NDTV has been bang on about everything as far as the story is concerned. Which is why I weigh my words very carefully.
The cabinet reshuffle is actually a very crucial test that DK Shivakumar has to go through, because Siddaramaiah has said repeatedly that he's not here he doesn't want to go to Rajya Sabha. This change has happened when Rajya Sabha elections are right in the in sight. But he doesn't want to go to Rajya Sabha. He doesn't want to leave Bengaluru. He doesn't want to leave Karnataka. He wants to stay in active politics, Shiv, not politics. He wants to stay in active politics. And we've seen this happen before when Kumaraswamy was chief minister as well, where Siddaramaiah was very much in the background. I think that the test that DK Shivakumar has, it starts right here, right now, in this moment. How is he going to accommodate all of the different people that are looking for a cabinet berth? How is he going to, his own supporters, his own MLAs that he's have stuck through him, as well as Siddaramaiah. I don't think that he's going to go away so easily and
I'm going to retirement. I'm going to take a very quick break, but this is something that I want to discuss with my guests and my reporters. What kind of a shadow is the outgoing chief minister going to cast on the Shivakumar government? The most immediate effects will happen with the composition of the kingdom, the composition of the cabinet and the ministries. But even beyond that, like Surbhi said, active politics, not just politics, refuse to move to Delhi. So what is the Siddaramaiah reflection going to be in this new government? Does Shivakumar get a clean slate to be chief minister, or does he have to just get used to the fact that this shadow is going to be looming large? Quick break, back with live coverage from right outside the Vidhan Sabha.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
Well, here's some breaking news coming in at this hour. Let's take you through it. We're understanding in Maharashtra's Mumbai, the CNG price has been hiked by ₹2. That's right, the CNG now costs ₹86 per kg in and around Mumbai. So that's the latest update that we're tracking from Maharashtra coming in at this hour, where we're understanding that the CNG price in Mumbai has now been hiked by ₹2. The CNG now stands at ₹86 per kg in and around Mumbai. My colleague Sujata brings us all the details. Let's take a look.
The price for compressed natural gas, which is CNG, has been hiked again by ₹2 per kg, and this has come into effect from today morning, which is highly meant to impact private vehicle owners, auto rickshaw drivers as well as taxi drivers. Now, CNG has again seen a hike of ₹2 per kg, whereas earlier the prices were impacted, and this has been almost the fourth hike that has been seen in CNG in the last 15 days, whereas the same could be seen on the end of petrol and diesel, where the prices have continuously seen a substantial rise, because of which people residing in Mumbai and surrounding areas seem to be deeply impacted.
Well, on this, we also have my colleague Danish Anand who's joining us on the broadcast to shed more light on this. Danish, walk us through the details. What exactly has happened? I understand that the CNG prices in Mumbai have now been hiked.
Well, that's correct. The CNG prices in Mumbai have been hiked by ₹2 per kg, and we are seeing that this is almost the fourth hike that is coming in, and it is completely in sync with the other price hikes that we have seen on petrol, diesel and CNG across the country over the past few weeks. So one of the reasons why is the West Asia crisis and the availability of CNG that is there. So because of this has happened. But if you look at the overall impact, the CNG penetration in vehicles is quite a lot. It is not only being used in three-wheelers, but also it is being used in public transport, in cabs and other vehicles as well. So if these prices keep on increasing, we can expect that the general public might soon start slowly shifting towards EVs, and this is what we have also noticed in certain other parts of the country as well. So the impact can be big per user, because since most of the commercial vehicles also use CNG, so we can, as far as the impact is concerned, we can expect this translating into higher freight rates. But for that we'll have to wait and watch. But this backdrop has come in. This development has come in at that point in time when we have seen constant price increases happening, staggered prices increase happening, and we don't know that when will the last hike will really be.
Absolutely, Danish. We've of course seen a systemic rise in the price over the past couple of weeks, and now, as you're tracking for us, we're noticing that there's also ₹2, in fact, hike in the CNG prices in and around Mumbai, making the CNG now cost 86 per kg in and around Mumbai. Let's now turn our attention to Karnataka. All eyes now shift to the Congress Legislature Party meeting in fact, Bengaluru, where the key cabinet and government decisions are to be taken. While the CLP meeting will be convened to finalize
Doddalahalli Kempegowda Shivakumar is going to be very happy with the reign here in Bengaluru that has accompanied him being named the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. It rained, and it still is raining cats and dogs, and it began just moments before he was named the CLP leader of the Congress Legislature Party, therefore clearing the final decks for him to become the Chief Minister of Karnataka. The swearing in is on the afternoon of Wednesday, that's the 3rd of June. It's a midweek swearing-in ceremony that will be taking place at the Lok Bhavan, which is the governor's house. Lots of questions as to whether there will be others who will be sworn in with him. We understand that DK Shivakumar is keen that, at least a limited cabinet is sworn in alongside him, and then more will follow. Remember, 34 ministers in the outgoing cabinet, out of which most people are not likely to survive the transition as far as holding on to a ministry berth is concerned. Let's take you inside the Vidhan Saudha, where it's far drier. It's really wet outside, huge puddles forming already. But inside the Vidhan Saudha, the CLP is done. Deepak Bopana is live with us. Deepak, all the procedures are finished. DK Shivakumar is now the CLP leader, and the path is clear to becoming the Chief Minister on Wednesday.
Yes, the formalities are done. 3 different resolutions. One was for Mr. Siddaramaiah, officially him stepping down. That was also seconded by Mr. Parmeshwar, accepted by the Congress Legislature Party. Then came the resolution proposing the name of Mr. DK Shivakumar as the new CLP leader. That was proposed by Mr. Siddaramaiah, seconded by Mr. Parmeshwar, accepted by the CLP. Finally, there was a resolution that was moved by the new leader, that is Mr. DK Shivakumar, thanking Mr. Siddaramaiah for the contribution that he has made to the Congress party over the years in different roles, both as a Chief Minister, one for a full 5-year term and now for another 3-year term, and also for his roles as a leader of the opposition as well. So formalities are done. We can expect the legislature to come out. Well, Shiv, yes, there is a little bit of a dry area where I'm standing, but it's not too much. And it's definitely not enough for the legislators and the amount of legislators that are going to come out. Usually during a cabinet meet, you have about 30 people who come in. But this is a Congress Legislature Party meet, and it's a whole lot of legislators of the Congress managed to get in 2023. And now the rain gods, of course, are here to test them and their skills at navigating through puddles of water, because all their vehicles are not possibly going to come inside, because you have already Mr. Siddaramaiah's car, which is right here at the entrance, and then you have now Mr. DK Shivakumar's car as well, that is being allowed inside. Usually it was only Mr. Siddaramaiah's cars that were more often than not allowed inside this corridor, but interestingly, with this change that we are seeing, protocols are changing, and now another car allowed. What are the legislators going to do? Probably, I think, the view from the 3rd floor is absolutely beautiful. For anybody who's been to the Vidhan Saudha and been here when it rains, if you're in the corridors, you get an aerial view of the city, especially from where the CLP meeting is going on. If they just step out, towards the right is the Karnataka High Court, and then you get to see all the other buildings and the entire Coven Park. So it's quite beautiful. So I'm assuming that the legislators are not going to step out, get their shoes dirty. Most of them wearing those luxury Louis Vuittons, wouldn't want that leather to get ruined with the water. So they're going to have a cup of coffee, some biscuits, maybe some snacks that were taken in, and relax for a while, because the drama, if it was to unfold, is done. It is now just going to be conversations that are going to have. It's not often that all the legislators come together in one room. So there are going to be interesting conversations. The outgoing Chief Minister's car has just come right next to where I'm standing. So let me in fact take you through these visuals. This is where Mr. Siddaramaiah sits. He will be here. He'll be at any moment now. This is probably, now he officially goes out of the Vidhan Saudha. No longer the leader of the Congress Legislature Party, Mr. DK Shivakumar has taken over officially from him. So it's a generational change that we're looking at. There are a lot of supporters here who've gathered. It looks like they could be Mr. Siddaramaiah supporters. We saw a lot of sloganeering the last time he came to the Vidhan Saudha, and he accepted that report of the Backward Class Commission. A lot of them getting very emotional. One of the reasons, Shiv, that today we're looking at the CLP meeting being held at the Vidhan Saudha is not very common. More often than not, you have it in some of these big hotels in Bengaluru, because the logistics becomes very easy for so many.
I'm coming to you in just a moment. Coming back to you in just a moment. We'll come back to the Vidhan Saudha drama in just a moment. Taking you back to the studio, we've got some breaking news coming in from Bengal concerning Abhishek Banerjee.
All right, Shiv, thank you so much for that. Some latest news coming in at this point from Sonarpur, where the visit has turned ugly for TMC leader. We have Abhishek Banerjee, who's in the eye of storm. The crowd surrounds Abhishek Banerjee. There is protest and commotion during this visit. TMC leader was heckled during the road visit. The crowd closes in on TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee. Protesters breached the cordon. There were eggs that were hurled. Video also shows a man trying to punch Abhishek. There were certain slogans that were raised that called him a chore. There were barbs hurled at Mamta's nephew. That's the bit of news which is coming in at this point, that Abhishek Banerjee's visit to Sonarpur in West Bengal turned ugly, and he had gone to meet the families of the post-poll violence victims. There were eggs and stones that were thrown at Banerjee during the visit. Security personnel eventually escorted the TMC leader outside while he wore a helmet amid the attack. Those images on your screen right now, as you can see, he was heckled during this visit. It was also reported from the site, our reporters are telling us that story, that there were many people who were present there. The security cordon was broken away. You can see in these images that there are certain people who are manhandling him at this point in time. He was called a thief, he was called a chore, and clearly the visit did not go well for TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee. Priyanka Tibrewal, the BJP leader, with us on the broadcast. Priyanka ji, your thoughts on what happened with Abhishek Banerjee during his visit to Sonarpur?
We're very unfaithful, but what to do, you see, because this is the anger of the public which has come out. Now, this particular place, Sonarpur, why I am so confidently speaking about this place is, in 2021, when the post-poll violence was faced by people of this particular area, I had visited this place. You know, houses of more than 800 people were burnt and brought to ashes. People had to flee from the area. They could not stay there. So this kind of violence was done there. So I completely understand that what is the outrage and anger of the public which is coming out. But even then, I would say that we do not support any such kind of act or activity. Nobody should take law in their hands. You know, whatever is happening against him, whether chore or anything like as such, all the investigation and the process of law is taking its own course. Because CBI is doing the investigation and processes are there on the way which is going on. So everything will happen according to law. People should not take law in their hands.
No, I completely agree with you there that law and order should be the norm by which anything ought to be judged. Pradeep Bhandari is also joining us on the broadcast from BJP. Mr. Bhandari, thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. An unfortunate attack on Abhishek Banerjee, the TMC leader. Priyanka Tibrewal of the BJP argues that this is the angst of the people that has not been addressed. But you are the elected state government in the state. Your party is ruling the state at this point. Your thoughts, Mr. Bhandari?
Well, please note that this is the anger of the people of Bengal against Abhishek Banerjee. And the anger is so high that the individuals from the people from Bengal took the law in their own hand. It is extremely unfortunate that they took the law in their own hand. So the police and the required investigative agencies will investigate the matter. The police personnel and the security personnel were present, and in fact they were those who helped Abhishek Banerjee by restricting the individuals who threw eggs on Mr. Abhishek Banerjee and were extremely angry against Abhishek Banerjee for his massive appeasement and maladministration in the last 15 years. Whatever be the reason, there is no justification for taking law in their own hand. This calls for two things. A, the investigation which will happen in a dispassionate manner because it's the BJP government, not the TMC government. And under a BJP government, irrespective of political ideologies, you will see investigation taking place. And B, it is also time for Mr. Abhishek Banerjee to self-reflect that what is that despite the government out of power of Trinamool Congress, the frustration and the anger in the people of Bengal is so high against the TMC that they are willing to take the law in their own hand and throw eggs at Abhishek Banerjee, who till a month back was ruling Bengal and used to give slogans.
Mr. Bhandari, I'm glad you're saying that because this was one of the promises of the BJP that law and order will become better, and the BJP spokesperson assuring that irrespective of the political differences, they will ensure that there is a proper investigation into the matter. Priyanka Tibrewal and Pradeep Bhandari, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. We are slipping into a very short break. All the action from Bengaluru and much more lined up here on NDTV. Slipping into a very short break.
Well, recent breaking news coming in at this hour. Let's take you through it. We're understanding in Maharashtra's Mumbai, the CNG price has been hiked by ₹2. That's right, the CNG now costs ₹86 per kg in and around Mumbai. So that's the latest update that we're tracking from Maharashtra coming in at this hour, where we're understanding that the CNG price in Mumbai has now been hiked by ₹2. The CNG now stands at ₹86 per kg in and around Mumbai. My colleague Sujata brings us all the details. Let's take a look.
The price for compressed natural gas, which is CNG, has been hiked again by rupees 2 per kg, and this has come into effect from today morning, which is highly meant to impact private vehicle owners, auto rickshaw drivers as well as taxi drivers. Now, CNG has again seen a hike of rupees 2 per kg, whereas earlier the prices were rupees 84 and today it stands at rupees 86, because of which people seem to be deeply impacted, and this has been almost the fourth hike that has been seen in CNG in the last 15 days, whereas the same could be seen on the end of petrol and diesel, where the prices have continuously seen a substantial rise, because of which people residing in Mumbai and surrounding areas seem to be deeply impacted.
Well, on this, we also have my colleague Danish Anand who's joining us on the broadcast to shed more light on this. Danish, walk us through the details. What exactly has happened? I understand that the CNG prices in Mumbai have now been hiked.
Well, that's correct. The CNG prices in Mumbai have been hiked by rupees 2 per kg, and we are seeing that this is almost the fourth hike that is coming in, and it is completely in sync with the other price hikes that we are seeing on petrol, diesel and CNG across the country over the past few weeks. So one of the reasons why is the West Asia crisis and the availability of CNG that is there. So because of this has happened. But if you look at the overall impact, the CNG penetration in vehicles is quite a lot. It is not only being used in three-wheelers, but also it is being used in public transport, in cabs and other vehicles as well. So if these prices keep on increasing, we can expect that the general public might soon start slowly shifting towards EVs, and this is what we have also can be big per user, because since most of the commercial vehicles also use CNG, so we can, as far as the impact is concerned, we can expect this translating into higher freight rates, but for that we'll have to wait and watch. But this backdrop has come in, this development has come in at that point in time when we are seeing constant price increases happening, staggered prices increase happening, and we don't know that when will the last hike will really be.
Absolutely, Danish. We've of course seen a systemic rise in the price over the past couple of weeks, and now, as you're tracking for us, we're noticing that there's also rupees 2, in fact, hike in the CNG prices in and around Mumbai, making the CNG now cost 86 per kgs in and around Mumbai. Let's now turn our attention to Karnataka. All eyes now shift to the Congress Legislature Party meeting in fact, Bengaluru, where the key cabinet and government decisions are to be taken. While the CLP meeting will be convened to finalize the power transfer process, discuss the cabinet reshuffle decisions, and most importantly, to pick the Legislature Party leader. The Chief Minister frontrunner DK Shivakumar, ahead of the CLP meeting, remained extremely tight-lipped, saying that the decision still remains with the High Command, and that the name for the legislature leader post was still undecided within the party.
The change in guard, and Monday there is a swearing-in ceremony of a new Chief Minister, but it is not going to bring any relief or any new change as far as common man of this state. And there is a huge loan, and the first priority is to set in the finances properly. Siddaramaiah has done more than 4.5 lakh crores loan. By the end of this term, there will be 10 lakh crore. It will be a huge burden on the people of Karnataka. And there is no governance and no development.
Fail DK Shivakumar team is a win in this fight. So, new CM Mr. DK Shivakumar will come. But in the government, I think nothing will change. Corruption continue, development, no development. There is no money. Already Siddaramaiah 7 lakh crore loan already done. So DK also another 3 lakh crore will do the loan for the corruption. I think not a big change in Karnataka.
कर्नाटका में सरकार नहीं है। 3 साल से हम देख रहे हैं हर दिन झगड़ चल रही है। मुख्यमंत्री और मंत्री लोग एक बार भी जिला में प्रवास नहीं जाते हैं, जिला में रिव्यू मीटिंग नहीं लेते हैं, कोई विकास का कार्यक्रम कर्नाटका में नहीं चल रहा है। गारंटी का नाम पे पूरा पैसा को खर्चा किया, उसी में भ्रष्टाचार किया एंड लोग परेशान है। बेंगलुरु का लोग भी परेशान है, बाकी जिला का लोग भी परेशान है। पिछले 1 साल से केवल कुर्सी का झगड़ चल रहा था, कुर्सी बचाने का एंड कुर्सी लेने का। अभी कुर्सी तो छोड़ दिया, नया मुख्यमंत्री बनना है एंड कोई अपेक्षा नहीं है ये सरकार भी, ये मुख्यमंत्री भी कुछ करेगा।
Well, NDTV's managing editor Shivarur spoke to senior journalist and author Rashid Kidwai on this. Let's also listen in to what he had to say.
And imagine someone who's written a full biography of DK Shivakumar, and that book's about to come out. Welcome back to NDTV's live and rolling coverage of the transition here in Karnataka. A new man is the Congress Legislature party leader. DK Shivakumar is all set now to become the Chief Minister of Karnataka on the 3rd of June, that is this Wednesday. We've got pictures coming in of the Congress Legislature party meet where Siddaramaiah, the outgoing Chief Minister, has just transferred the mantle onto his erstwhile Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar, who now officially becomes the man set to become Chief Minister of Karnataka on the 3rd of June. I want to go across to Ritu, my colleague, who's inside the Vidhan Sauda where this historic meeting is taking place, where this announcement has just been made. All the protocol items have been completed. Some speeches have been made. Gratitude has been expressed. And now the change of guard has taken place. Everything is done, Ritu.
Shiv, of course, important pictures now that we are accessed and is on our screens that we can see. Finally, all that kind of a pictures is really speaking a lot. 100 stories in single picture one can really see. Multiple pictures, Shiv, that you can see all the legislators raising their hands in terms of that voting that basically took place inside while that the CLP leader was getting announced as well. So yes, that's an interesting picture. You can see in the front line there you have DK Shivakumar, Siddaramaiah, BK Hari Prasad and others as well being part of that first line chairs there, and there you have all the legislators as well. Siddaramaiah, of course, with bright smile trying to have a talk with KC Venugopal, and on the other side Surjewala. But all that looks like it's done right now when we talk about the kind of political developments that we were expecting just few minutes back, when all suddenly that closed door meeting basically started among these leaders. But of course now DK Shivakumar being nominated finally officially that he is going to be the CLP leader. I'm also told by my sources the kind of words that were basically put by Siddaramaiah. He of course started by thanking all of them. He in fact thanked all the AICC leaders for giving him this opportunity. And again there he also highlighted the guarantees that got implemented under his leadership too. Trying to just speaking to these various leaders there, again saying how that he was really provided opportunity by the AICC leaders. He also mentioned about where that the central government did try and put hurdles out when he was the chief minister, implementing various kind of a public welfare, but he did not stop there. He continued to do his job. He was on the toes for the state people. So yes, multiple notes that were being said by Siddaramaiah during this CLP meeting. DK Shivakumar also stood up to thank all the legislators for voting him as the next CLP leader. But yes, now we're going to see the leaders coming here right where I am right now. I'll also request my VJ Suresh to show you these visuals here. All the media personnel completely jam-packed in full attendance, waiting for that note that would be addressed by Surjewala that we are expecting in few minutes now. Meanwhile, leaders continue to be inside the conference hall itself. Any moment that we will see them stepping out. It's all in the final moment that that are the final talks that are on right now inside the hall. We will be seeing them stepping out and then speaking to media, Shiv.
Okay, very, very important that NDTV has been able to get these pictures first and exclusive here on the network. The inside of the CLP meeting. On stage, you see that entire galaxy of leaders, including Mr. Siddaramaiah, Mr. DK Shivakumar, the high command appointees who are there to observe, as well as all the big, outgoing ministers and loyalists on that stage, obviously carefully selected to project unity and a peaceful transfer of power between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, who between them have made the last 3 years pretty much about their feud to be Chief Minister of Karnataka. That war has ended now. Fresh battles have erupted now over what the new Sarkara is going to look like. But DK Shivakumar is now all set to be the Chief Minister of Karnataka. Deepak is also live with us from inside the Vidhan Sauda. Deepak, this CLP has gone on for a while now. How much longer and what happens next? There's a press conference or a statement by Randeep Singh Surjewala that we're waiting for after that.
Yes, the CLP is, the official formalities there are over. Probably they're going to take a little more time. As you are here, Shiv, you will probably see the weather hasn't got any better. So for the legislators to really step out now is going to be a little bit of a frenzy. I have Mr. Siddaramaiah here with me. He's one of the Congress leaders who's seen the different transitions. This is a very key transition, Mr. Siddaramaiah. How do you really view this? It has happened as smooth as the High Command would have liked it. The BJP is watching all of this very closely. Probably they would have anticipated more turbulence, but you've managed to land this plane right on time, and more importantly without any sort of hiccups.
There was no hiccups because you would have observed the former Chief Minister, at the present even now, Siddaramaiah ji, went on saying, I will resign the day Rahul Gandhi says. And it was very clear in his mind. He is going to abide by whatever the High Command says. And it was a very smooth transition because he already had a preset mind. He said, whenever Rahul Gandhi calls me, says, I'm going to step on the same day. And he did it. He stood by his words, and it became a smooth transition.
How smooth is the cabinet rejig going to be? Because that's where, again, things flare up. There'll be people who will be dropped. It's not going to go down well with them. Their supporters are going to be in anguish. There are going to be, of course, celebrations when new faces come in. There needs to be a mix that will work for the Congress party because you have 2 more years and then elections again. So all of this kept in mind. Tell me, if you've been in Delhi for the last few days, I'm sure you've been in touch with some of the AICC leaders there. What's their mindset and game plan? I know you can't drop names. I'm not asking you to do that now. But did you get an idea of what the High Command is thinking? What is a combination like that they want going forward from you?
Rahul Gandhi ji and the High Command, they are looking at a combination of a very good experience who can deliver goods, who have delivered good before, and with the new young faces who can be in a long run for the party's benefit in future.
Okay.
That is the combination they're working for.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Siddaramaiah. That was Mr. Siddaramaiah, a Congress leader. He's here witnessing, an era coming to an end and the beginning of a new one. And behind me, Shiv, I want you to take a look. A lot of people gathered. One is, yes, the rain not allowing them to leave, and many of them not going to leave. Either till Mr. DK Shivakumar leaves, there are supporters, or Mr. Siddaramaiah leaves because there are his supporters. Last time when he was leaving from the Vidhan Sauda, people literally swarmed his car. Some of them getting emotional, some of them shouting slogans. That again could happen here in a short while from now. But definitely, when we are looking at how things have unfolded, without any hiccups, the Congress High Command has managed to get this done. But there are multiple steps to go. And when I say multiple steps, at least the bigger ones crossed. Now comes the combinations of how many deputy chief ministers to have. And when I was speaking to some of the Congress leaders, they tell me Mr. DK Shivakumar doesn't even want one deputy chief minister. Mr. Siddaramaiah is hopeful that there will be deputy chief ministers. Many people will be content and happy. So many combinations to work out. But considering now that the time for the oath taking is another couple of days to go, they have a little more time to actually finalize some of the names. Along with Mr. Shivakumar, there will be more people who will be taking oath, is one thing that's certain at this point in time. At least 9 more is what I'm told. So he will be 1 and 9 more, so 10 people totally will be taking oath in all likelihood on the 3rd of June. That's when Karnataka will have its new chief minister officially. Yeah. The same person who has now been elected as the leader of the Congress Legislature Party. Back to you, Shiv.
Okay, so all the processes are done. It will be DK Shivakumar plus maybe 9 persons who will be sworn in on the 3rd of June. the nitty-gritties, the smaller details as far as the swearing in are being tied up. DK Shivakumar's team will be in touch with the governor's house now, and the venue is again going to be at the Lok Bhavan itself. There was speculation about where it would probably be, but now we can confirm it's going to happen at the Lok Bhavan. Let's get some initial thoughts, initial reactions on the man who is now formally the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. Joining me live now are Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, Chandan Gowda, commentator, columnist and writer, Surbhi Hodigere of the BJP here in Karnataka. Also joining me live on the network are RK Upadhyay, political writer and commentator and analyst, and Tehseen Poonawala, author and political commentator. Thanks very much to all of you for being with me here today. It's still raining in Bengaluru. The weather, which was very, very warm, has cooled down significantly, and I'm sure the man who's just been cleared to be the Chief Minister of Karnataka is going to be very, very happy, given that he takes these things in a very auspicious manner, and we all know what rain means here in Karnataka. Chandan, I'd like to kick it off with you first. First thoughts, DK Shivakumar, the drama is over. He gets to become the Chief Minister a few days from now. Priorities, challenges, first thoughts.
Priorities, the budget has been passed. He'll have to work within the existing budget, but he'll have to work out a vision. Siddaramaiah promised social justice and development. Now, DK Shivakumar is not committed to it, but he will want to differentiate himself from it, I would imagine, in some way. He's already been talking about brand Bengaluru, etc. How will he talk about the rest of the state? Now there is Chief Minister, he's not just the urban minister. So that remains to be seen. But to cabinet colleagues that he'll pick to work with him, his team, that will be interesting to watch. Yeah. And of course, the collaboration that he will strike with Siddaramaiah is also very, very interesting to watch, because if he wants a smooth ride, the last thing he wants is hurdles from these sorts of quarters. And he really has a year and a half to not only deliver and make his mark, because the elections will come and then everyone will get into that mode. And he'll have, for the next time around, he can't just go with the welfareist promises to the electorate. He'll have to have something else to promise, so for which he'll have to do the spade work now. Yeah. So these are the things I expect him to be preoccupied with in the next couple of weeks, months. Yeah.
Okay. Opening reactions there. Surbhi from the BJP. Let's get her first thoughts about DK Shivakumar, now the Chief Minister. Many will say that the BJP has will have to relinquish that particular ammunition that you had against the government over the power tussle. We don't know how it's going to go for him, but how is the BJP going to be looking at this?
That was never ammunition that was not an ammunition that we wanted either, because it was not in the interest of the state. But that was the ammunition the Congress gave us. It was Congress MLAs who came out and spoke about it. It was Congress, the economic advisor to the Chief Minister who flagged issues in the economy. It was always the Congress who was raising these issues. And MLAs who went and said that we want more development funds. MLAs going to Delhi, ministers going to Delhi regularly saying that this needs to be solved now. In fact, I can't remember the name, but somebody from within the Congress who said that this needs to be sorted out in the next 1 month, because it's really impacting governance. So it was not ammunition that we were looking for. Even beyond that, Shiv, there's a lot of ammunition. If you even to start with, Mr. DK Shivakumar's pet Namma Neeru Namma Hakku, the Mekedatu Nadige that they did. Where is the issue on Mekedatu? Writing to the centre is not the excuse. Where is the DPR? Sit and talk to your counterpart in Tamil Nadu. It's the Congress that is power in Tamil Nadu. They have not had a conversation with them. So there are multiple issues that we are, in fact, the gloves are off now, because you can't hide behind the fact that you were, so busy with the power tussle. You were capturing public imagination mostly with that tussle. You are now going to have to face the criticism that's going to come your way. Bengaluru in charge minister you have been for the last 3 years. What do you have to show? Tell us three achievements you've done as Bengaluru in charge minister. None. You can't come up with one. Water resources, another ministry that you held. We're going to go into a phase of deficit monsoon. What is the plans that you have?
I'm going to come to the civic challenges and the Bengaluru aspect in just a moment. Specific round of questions just on that. But to bring in RK Upadhyay in on this, first thoughts. DK Shivakumar is going to be the Chief Minister. What is he going to be looking forward to most at this point of time? What are his priorities? Is he going to be looking over his shoulder at Siddaramaiah, or is he going to have a clean slate to govern?
I think it's not going to be very easy for him, because he has to depend on Siddaramaiah's senior supporters, because he doesn't have any seniors with him. I mean, that's the irony, because he only Chalavarai Swamy or some of them like that. But all others, H.K. Patil or Krishna Bairegoda, Dinesh Gundurao, all of them from the Siddaramaiah's camp. Of course, they will work for Shivakumar as well. But that will be a difficult task for him because that's where Siddaramaiah's role will come in. Is he going to play a backseat driving role, or is he going to allow him to function smoothly? That has to be seen. And that apart, now that he has taken over as the chief minister, what is his priorities? See, he has to come up with something big, at least on day one. I remember in 2013 when Siddaramaiah got elected, he came up with Anna Bhagya. That was the biggest, announcement made at that time. And in 2018, he came up with the 5 guarantees. Of course, they're already been announced. So, what is the big bang thing that Siddaramaiah can come up? Shivakumar can come up with. I think that people will look forward to.
Okay, Tehseen, he's got his work cut out. Is it going to be smooth sailing? So far till today, where he's been named the leader of the Congress Legislature Party, it's, the optics have been perfect, nothing untoward, no wrinkles whatsoever. How do you see the next few days and weeks of DK Shivakumar as CM?
Shiv, thank you so much for having me on the show. At the onset, many congratulations to you, the NDTV team. You guys have been pulling off the impossible, getting things from what all of us have been trying to sort of cover up, but you guys have been pulling it out almost like the magician, pulling out the rabbit from the hat. So congratulations to team.
Thank you.
Look, the roadmap is clear again. The roadmap is DK Shivakumar has to get the Congress back to government in 2028. Now, that's not easy because in 41 years, Shiv, as you know, that no government has repeated in Karnataka. 2018, yes, the Congress came back to power, but it was not the single largest. BJP was the single largest. Congress came with JDS. So to get that back is not an easy task. I think one of the things that will define DK Shivakumar's legacy is, can he bring the Congress back to power? Continue with the welfare schemes, because that is because then you'll have to have money for the infrastructure development. And the third thing is the Bengaluru traffic mess. The tendering for the underground tunnel is already completed. It's not yet been allocated. I think it's some 16,000 crores for the first phase, 30,000 crores. If that work can start and part of the Bengaluru traffic problem can get solved, I think DK would have left his mark on this government as well. But I am telling you, DK is a fantastic administrator, and I think he will take the Congress ahead. Simply also one reason is the BJP at the moment is in a mess in Karnataka.
Yeah. I'll get Surabhi to answer that in just a moment, but I don't want to make this Congress BJP yet. There's a new chief minister headed in. There will be more than enough space for Congress and BJP on this. Not that I'm trivializing it. It's very important because the BJP is the lead opposition here. But Syed, bringing you in right now, anything that you think DK Shivakumar will be worried about, or is he going to head into this with a clean mind, confident that he's going to be given the space to make his stamp as chief minister?
I think, Shiv, my answer makes easy when I saw your interview with Belur Dwarkanath, where he said DK Shivakumar is headed to be the chief minister, but this is going to be a crown of thorns. The road ahead is not going to be easy. And for the success of the state of Karnataka, he needs to forget his family, his people, and selflessly work towards the betterment and flourishment of the beautiful state of Karnataka. So therefore, I think the real challenge will be how he's going to manage the next 2 years, the city's infrastructure, the potholes problem that we regularly face. But I believe that his time has come, and for him to be a chief ministerial face for the 28 elections, for him to tumultuously change around the history of Karnataka, which has always been rotational. Time to do that. Absolutely, he's got less than 24 months to go. So this is going to be challenging, but definitely looking forward to it. This is going to be very, very his dream come true, as a matter of fact.
So the chief minister is confirmed, but literally nobody else in this government, this new Sarkara, is confirmed. Nobody knows who's going to retain, and beyond some reasonable guesses, theoretically speaking, in the pictures you see on your screen right now inside the CLP meeting, every single face you see is potentially a new minister or a former minister going forward into this. Chandan, I want to bring you in on that. That's the kind of mini Game of Thrones that has now erupted. People will be sniffing an opportunity. Others will be wondering whether they will still be minister tomorrow. What kind of thought process is going to go into this? Because this is also a bit of a balancing act.
Yes. Shiv, he will of course have to accommodate people who have been loyal to him. But this is also an opportunity for him to evolve as a person like Siddaramaiah was, who commanded the trust and loyalty of a wide variety of MLAs from a wide variety of backgrounds, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs, the religious minorities. So it's not, Shivakumar has been a secular leader and he has a following, but he's not yet seen as someone whom all of this...
Yes, sir. अरे रुक
Good evening. Can we have some noise? Good evening, namaskara. Good evening, namaskara. As you are aware that Siddaramaiah ji had resigned the Chief Ministership of Karnataka.
You will not. Why are you not keeping quiet?
You only one bite. Now you are making noise. Yes. Good evening. Namaskara. As you are aware that Siddaramaiah ji had resigned the Chief Ministership of Karnataka and the Governor of Karnataka accepted his resignation. In these circumstances, today, Legislative Party of Karnataka Congress met the meeting initially unanimously authorized Congress High Command to propose a leader for Karnataka Legislative Party. After that, we had discussed the matter with the Congress High Command. Congress High Command suggested the name of DK Shivakumar, Deputy Chief Minister, as the leader of Congress Legislative Party. Siddaramaiah ji proposed the name of DK Shivakumar and Dr. Parameshwara seconded it. CLP again unanimously accepted the name moved by Siddaramaiah ji and seconded by Dr. Parameshwar. I would like to proudly announce that Karnataka Legislative Party unanimously elected DK Shivakumar as the leader of the Legislative Party of Karnataka Congress. Now he is going to the governor for taking claim as a chief minister and is going to take oath as a chief minister along with his team on third evening. I am very glad to say that everybody thought that this transition going to be a trouble for Congress party. Everybody anticipated that. Some of them, you people are also thought that big shake is going to happen in the Congress party. Ours is a family. Ours is a family, great family. Everybody was behind Siddaramaiah ji. What Siddaramaiah ji is going to do? But with one word he replied, in his heart only Congress is there. The decision of the Congress High Command, decision of the party is the decision of Siddaramaiah ji also. He proved it in a bigger way. This is the clear-cut Congress family's attitude. Today, Congress Legislative Party unanimously acknowledged the service of Siddaramaiah ji as a Chief Minister for the last 8 years. That resolution is moved by none other than DK Shivakumar. Her guidance, smooth transition of power has been happening in Karnataka. Therefore, now onwards, under the leadership of DK Shivakumar, Congress is going to come back again with the support of Siddaramaiah ji. You take it from us, 2028, Congress is going to come back again in Karnataka with support of all leaders. This is what I want to say.
Okay, that was a very, very combative sounding KC Venugopal, the General Secretary, organization of the Congress Party, saying that the media and the detractors of the Congress thought that this transition of power would be full of trouble and full of tension and it would shake and quake the party, but that under the able guidance of the Gandhis and the cooperation of Siddaramaiah, things have gone completely smoothly, and that this is an indicator that the Congress will come back with double strength in the 2028 election. So that is KC Venugopal. These are political words that must be spoken as a bookend of what has been, the last few days, where all sides have been on tenterhooks wondering whether this is going to spiral out of control. But to the credit of those managing it, the High Command and others here on the ground, certainly with the generous cooperation of Siddaramaiah, who, let us never forget, never wanted to give up his chief ministership, has gone remarkably smoothly by Congress standards, and therefore the path is now open for DK Shivakumar to be the Chief Minister. Deepak Bopana is live with me from inside that press conference venue inside the Vidhan Sauda. Deepak, now it's over to the Governor for details on the swearing-in ceremony. That's where DK Shivakumar will be headed now for those discussions.
Yes, and you can see a host of legislators who are just walking out. Mr. Khandre is here. Mr. Khandre,
It was very smooth. It was unanimous. Unanimously were decided to give the...
Mr. Ishwar Khandre, I'll try and get a few more leaders to talk here. Mr. DK Shivakumar's vehicle is all ready to head to the governor's office. There were a lot of leaders around his car as well, waiting for him. He's expected any time now because Mr. KC Venugopal has stepped out just a few minutes ago, and we were of course cutting that live for our viewers to listen to what he had to say, and of course very strong message being put out, and even saying towards the end that there's no doubt that they will be coming back to power in 2029. And now it looks like the next chief minister is making his way out, and there is a little bit of a frenzy here with a lot of policemen trying to contain the crowds. There he is. There he is. The next chief minister of Karnataka. Loud cheering has begun. Escorts, of course, contain the crowds. Huge number of people around him. Very difficult for him at this point in time. Now there he has the signatures probably of the legislators, and here you can see the view. Not wanting to speak, but definitely so much happening. Come here. No statement from him. It looks like he's decided that he won't be speaking, at least for now. But you can see how things are unfolding. There you have it. He's stepping out, and on the other side, Mr. Siddaramaiah stepping out. Mr. Surjewala is here. I'm going to try and get a word from him. Sir, how smooth was the CLP, sir? Siddaramaiah, sir, would you like to say something, sir? Sir, the entire country is listening. Would you like to say something, sir? Would you like to say something? Very much. K.C. Venugopal accompanying Mr. Siddaramaiah. They are all together headed to the governor. It looks like huge number of people really here. Quite difficult. You can see, I'm going to ask my video journalist to say on these pictures. Quite dramatic. The space has really reduced much more than you usually have in Vidhan Sabha because the rains hasn't really helped the situation. And a lot of supporters as well, all of a sudden gathering, has also made it very tricky. And I'm just going to take a moment to grab my breath. With all the pushing and pulling that was happening here, it was quite tricky to manage this entire situation. Sir, can you tell us, we're witnessing a historic moment. Tell us how the CLP meeting went.
आज CLP मीटिंग में हाईकमांड ने और all MLAs मिलके
Okay, we're going to come out of these pictures because we need to take a very quick break. But as you could hear in the sound and the pictures there that you saw, exultations have erupted there. People chanting DK as he emerges from inside the CLP meeting. He will be headed to the governor's house. I'm going to take a quick break, but our coverage continues on the other side. Stay with NDTV. A new chief minister is inbound here in Karnataka. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to your favorite technology show from Maximum City. It's a little hot and humid here in Mumbai across the country, but that doesn't stop us from bringing you the hottest action from the world of AI and tech. I'm your host Ayush Elavadi. There's a lot that we are cramming into your favorite technology show, Tech 360. Let's get the show started. If you're worried about AI taking away your job in 2026, well then here's a reality check. In the next 90 seconds, I'm going to show you a camera pursuit editor, a graphics designer, a producer, and maybe... Let's be honest, foldables have been around for a while now. But outside Samsung Galaxy's Z Fold series, this is in its 7th generation, very few devices have truly managed to capture mainstream attention. The problem has never really been the concept. It's been the price. Spending close to flagship level laptop money on a smartphone still feels excessive for most people. And while Apple is expected to eventually enter the foldable space, maybe later this year, potentially pushing the category into the mainstream, the way it did with smartwatches and tablets, brands like Motorola are already trying to make foldables more accessible. The new Moto Razr Fold feels like the strongest attempt yet. Now, if you look at this device at first glance, the Razr Fold looks every bit like a premium foldable. Just like the Samsung, you get a massive 8.1-inch LTPO AMOLED inner display with a 120Hz refresh rate and up to 6,200 nits of peak brightness. That's fairly good for even a hot and sultry evening here in Mumbai. Now, the outer 6.6-inch cover screen runs at an even smoother 165 Hz. Now, Motorola has clearly focused on making both displays equally usable. And that makes a big difference in daily use, by the way. The form factor feels polished. Honestly, when I'm holding it, it feels a little bit like the Vivo device because I think the way the edges have been rounded a bit and the overall build quality, and that's not a criticism because the Vivo Fold is a fairly popular device as well. Now, the hinge mechanism is solid, and unlike some early foldables, this doesn't feel like a fragile experiment anymore. Let's talk about performance because performance is flagship grade 2. That's because it's powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 chipset paired with up to 16 gigs of RAM and UFS 4.1 storage. This keeps everything extremely fluid, whether you're multitasking across the split screen apps, gaming or editing videos. Basically, if you're multitasking on this device and want to use all this real estate, this performs like a flagship foldable, just like the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. And this is many generations later. This is an early device in the Motorola lineup. But remember, Motorola is the Razr OG, and they understood flip phones and some form of foldables over the years. So this is the first textbook-like foldable that we're getting from them. But Motorola is also promising 7 years of OS and security updates, which is a huge step forward for Android foldables. Software optimization still isn't as mature though as Samsung's ecosystem, but the experience is surprisingly close, like I said earlier. In fact, this is where the Razr Fold really stands out. It delivers nearly 80% of the Galaxy Z Fold premium experience at 60% of the price point? 30,000 rupees nearly cheaper than this device. Now, the cameras are a pleasant surprise. I was at CES Las Vegas and I attended a Motorola pop-up sort of an event where they were showcasing and showboating how the AI works on some of their cameras, how they tweak the sensors. Now they've given you that camera prowess in a foldable. So you get a triple 50 megapixel setup, including a Sony lithium main sensor, an ultra-wide, and a proper periscope telephoto lens with optical image stabilization. Foldables usually compromise on cameras to save space. Look, at the end of the day, this is a very slim form factor, and that's why probably some of the cameras have not gotten there yet. They're great on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, but it's taken a while for them to get that good. Motorola hasn't cut too many corners here. Photos have good dynamic range and colors look vibrant without being over-processed. And the flexibility of using the cover display for selfies generally changes how you capture content. I've been using that on foldables for the longest time. If you can use this camera to take a selfie whilst this is open, you get a great reference point. Also, when you're using gestures on Android phones, it's so much more intuitive than actually capturing a photo on an iPhone. There, I said it. Now, the Moto Razr Fold may not dethrone Samsung overnight, but honestly, it doesn't need to. What it does is it makes foldables feel more realistic for a larger audience. If Apple eventually enters this category, foldables could not become mainstream, but they would at least capture a larger attention of the end consumer. But until then, Motorola deserves the credit for bringing the experience closer to somewhat affordable, and of course, without stripping away the flagship. For anyone curious about foldables but unwilling to spend the big bucks on the Galaxy Z Fold, this might prove to be the most sensible entry point yet. So from Mountain View to this view in Mumbai, the jet lag is officially kicking in, but we're still going to bring you this high-octane show. There's a lot more on the other side of a commercial break. I'll see you there.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
चाहे जैसे खाओ 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसली स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala, delicious, healthy, every day. The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu. So many attacks. The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits.
and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. And in France. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello and welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Sehgal. What's happening? How to
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5, only on NDTV 24/7.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
DK Shivakumar, the breaking news. Here's the breaking news. DK Shivakumar has been elected as the CLP leader. So that's done. That puts an end to, people disappearing into their chambers. But, from here, it becomes the more routine stuff. Now it's about the swearing in, which we understand is going to happen on the 3rd, which is on Wednesday. I spoke to DK Shivakumar's astrologer yesterday. There were a bunch of dates that have been given as well.
The crown of thorns.
So I think any last, possibility of speculation ends now. It's done. It's done and dusted.
Yeah, I think it's fairly clear. The path is clear. The only speculation is about how many deputies.
Every now and then on social media, there's a new trend. And whether you look at the number of creators and influencers, or just generally a lot of Gen Z and millennials wanting to play a sport, especially when I go for football, I see a lot of people playing paddle and pickle. In fact, here in Mumbai, it's all about paddle, and there's also competitive tournaments. Then there's pickle in other cities like Delhi. And around the world, there's a mixed bag of these racket sports. Now, if you ask someone who plays badminton, they'll say that's far more competitive. But then if you ask someone who plays tennis, they'll say it's far more competitive. And someone who plays squash might think that is even more competitive and fierce and aggressive and really drains out all those calories. But for now, paddle and pickle have become the cool thing to do on social media for sure. So Tech 360 gets behind and under this trend to figure out what makes it tick, especially on social media.
We had tennis, squash and badminton ruling the game for ages. But now pickleball and paddle have taken the limelight. In India, paddle is blowing up, especially in Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore. Delhi NCR is packed with new spots, weekend slots are sold out, and it's not just fitness bros. Paddle girlies have joined in, families and Gen Zs are turning it into their new weekend ritual. And let's be real, Instagram made it cool. What started with global celebrities like Ronaldo, Messi, Beckham and Shakira is now turning Indian cities into paddle hubs. Social media didn't just show the sport, it made it a vibe. Everyone's suddenly obsessed with this aesthetic new racket sport, and let's find out why. Do you think social media has increased the popularity of paddle? Yeah? Why do you think
That's the reason I'm here. That's the reason most of the creators are here. And I think true sports person, they are into sports, but few of the creators, or maybe, I think it's good. We are getting physically active, but yeah.
Yeah, I think social media is definitely one of the reasons, but the other reason is it is easy to learn. Both these sports are easier to learn. But like if you compare it to tennis, tennis is very hard to learn. Like people give up in 3 or 4 months because they are not able to, because the learning curve is quite steep. But this sport, like you only require 2 players, 4 players, and it is much easier to learn as comparison to other.
I mean, the growth in paddle and pickle both is driven by influencers, community out there. We are seeing celebrities playing paddle out anymore. So yeah, that's what's driving out here, and Gen Zs are particularly the ones who are influenced with this. And yeah, it's just the beginning for pickle and paddle, and a long way to go ahead.
The influencers are really picking it up, and it's a good sport. It's a good way to get your body moving, and if you don't feel like going to the gym, pick up a racket and hit a ball around.
I think, yeah, of course, it is a mix of Instagram, but also
paddle is a very social game. It's not just about coming and playing. It's about hanging out with people afterwards. It's like, it's not as easy as pickleball, so it's a little bit more intense, which is why people are more into paddle. I think it's a little bit more aspirational also because it's an expensive sport. I would compare it to what golf is for, like, you know, older men. That's what paddle is doing for the younger generation.
I think that would be one takeaway from this, but I think the second is people are getting hooked onto it because they really feel the energy. They really get involved with the game. Like how I used to play badminton, I got involved with the badminton. I used to forget whatever is happening around me. So I think there's two sides of the coin. So this is one, the social media is promoting it, but I think the second is people are really able to see how paddle is affecting.
I think you were mainly inspired to start playing paddle because of all the reels and all of the shorts.
Definitely, if I'm getting to get a glammed up look and play a sport, I'll be ready for it, always.
And would you plan out your pictures and content and reels for when you play?
Definitely. I would keep my phone always on, hooked onto my looks and then to the paddle. So it's giving me two-way benefit.
I think genuinely because pickle and paddle, they're not new sports, they're old, they're from the 80s and the 60s. But they've grown now in the social media era that tennis and badminton didn't have, which is why we're all like, let's go, look good and just play. Even if you look at a lot of players, they might not be playing the game right, but they still want to play and put it on the gram, right? So yeah, for sure. Social media is a big factor, yeah.
I think so, yeah. But also just the fact that, you know, it's not that, it doesn't require a lot of like practice. You can be good at it in a few sessions and it's fun.
I think just because it's new and like it hasn't existed for a while, people kind of have this mindset against things that are new, and you refer to them as Gen Z, but actually it's just a like sick invention, you know, like mix of tennis and squash with a tennis ball. Like, you have to play and you're going to be addicted for sure.
So yeah, paddle isn't just another trend. It's basically a social, addictive, camera-ready sporting upgrade. Whether it's the easy entry, the squad energy, or the endless reels, this sport is clearly the moment. And after hearing what Delhi players had to say courtside, one thing is for sure. Once you're on this glass court, you're hooked.
Now it's time for my favorite segment on the show where all your queries are answered, whether it's tech, auto, AI, innovation, lifestyle. And this one is particularly special because, as we know, auto is so much tech. In fact, it's all tech nowadays. And this question is pertinent because it's all about the new Ferrari Lucha and its design language. Why doesn't it look like a Ferrari? Well, that's because Ferrari has finally revealed the Lucha, its first ever all-electric car, and the internet can't decide whether it's revolutionary or just a very expensive concept toy. Designed in collaboration with the legendary former Apple design chief Johnny Ive and his love from studio, the Lucha is Ferrari's attempt at reimagining what a supercar looks like in an electric era. But unlike the aggressive, sculpted drama we usually associate with Ferrari, this one feels softer, cleaner, and strangely appliance-like. Almost as if someone asked Apple to build a luxury Hot Wheels car. Johnny Ive's fingerprints are everywhere on this monster. The minimal glass heavy surfaces, the obsession with aluminium, the tactile switches, and the almost clinical simplicity make this EV feel more Cupertino than Maranello. You know what I find most interesting? The man, the visionary, the legend who helped remove buttons from smartphones. We essentially talked to a sheet of glass, has actually gone and brought physical controls back into the Ferrari's cockpit because according to Johnny Ive, giant touchscreens do not work in a car. That's quite contrary to what other companies are doing. The result is an interior that looks stunningly futuristic, but an exterior that many enthusiasts feel lacks Ferrari's emotional chaos, the kind that makes a Ferrari instantly recognizable even whilst standing still. And the biggest debate around the Lucha right now, it may be technologically impressive and worth covering here on Tech 360. Insanely fast, of course, it's an EV and packed with design innovation. But does it feel like a Ferrari? Online, the reactions have ranged from calling it a futuristic Kia to comparing it with a toy car, a Hot Wheels car designed for a sci-fi movie. Ferrari clearly wants to attract a younger, tech-first generation of buyers with the Lucha, but in trying to look futuristic, it may have accidentally designed the least Ferrari-looking Ferrari ever made. Now, one quick heads up, Jaguar Land Rover also faced a little bit of criticism online for their Jaguar EVs because the brand was changing, drifting away from that performance mindset into very futuristic looking EVs. They're coming out with a new version as well. I've seen the trailer, it looks really cool. But the company's larger message was that we are doing this for the next gen. Could Ferrari also be using the same playbook? And probably all of us are missing the woods for the trees and the trees for the woods. It is contrarian online because there's a bunch of millennials, older people, Gen Z and Gen Alpha who will be commenting on this design. But maybe this is a look into the future. Maybe this is what the next generation wants. And maybe at some time, no matter how great a brand is, it needs to evolve. The next question is from Ragini, and this is very relevant because WWDC is coming, Apple's flagship developer conference, and she asks, which phones will support iOS 27 when it is announced at WWDC? Obviously, it'll roll out later, but yes, we'll be bringing you the latest and greatest from WWDC. And if you think you need a 17 Pro Max, well then think again because Apple hasn't officially announced the supported devices for iOS 27 yet, but current reports suggest that the update will support the iPhone 12 lineup and newer models. So you're safe if you have devices such as the iPhone 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16 along with the newer iPhone SE, and of course if you have the latest and greatest as well. Now all of these devices are expected to receive the update. Older models like the iPhone 11 and the iPhone SE, which is the second generation, the older one, are rumored to lose support this year. So if you're thinking of upgrading, not only will you get the latest iOS with these devices, but they're also 5G compatible. So you can't be living under a rock. Now iOS 27 is expected to focus heavily on smarter AI features and deeper personalization. Now leaks suggest Apple may expand its on-device AI tools with improved writing assistance, smarter Siri interactions. We'll finally have an AI-powered Siri that works and more context-aware suggestions across apps. There are also rumors of a redesigned control center, additional lock screen customization options, which is a lot like Android now, and better battery management powered by machine learning, which I think iPhones have done a fairly good job at for the last few years with a bunch of features you can use with low power mode, boost mode. There is more happening on your iPhones. Apple is likely to officially reveal iOS 27 and its full compatibility list during WWDC 2026 in June. So the week of June 8th onwards is when all of these updates will be announced, and we'll be showing you everything firsthand here on Tech 360 as always, because we'll be on ground for that event. The next question is an interesting one from Rahul, who asks, is it a good idea to buy a Sony Xperia 1.8 from the EU or other markets, because you don't get it over here? Now, my take is simple. Buying the Sony Xperia, the new one, from Europe for use in India makes sense only if you're an enthusiast who specifically wants Sony's unique approach to smartphones. The phone stands out with features most flagships have abandoned. A 21:9 4K OLED display, headphone jack, micro SD slot, near stock Android, a great experience, and cameras that behave more like Sony Alpha cameras that we're shooting on right now than typical smartphones. It's aimed at creators and photography enthusiasts who prefer natural looking images and manual controls over the heavily processed look of maybe Oppo or Vivo or Samsung phones. Hardware-wise, it's a true flagship and easily among the most interesting Android phones available today. But from an Indian perspective, it's a difficult recommendation from us. Sony no longer officially sells Xperia phones in India, which means no proper warranty, limited service support, uncertain spare parts availability, and also inconsistent Jio, Airtel, VoLTE or 5G compatibility depending on carrier updates. You'll also be paying a massive premium after import duties if you're getting it via that route, often close to ultra premium foldable territory. So let's keep it simple. Unless you specifically want an Xperia for its niche enthusiast appeal, phones like the Galaxy S26 Ultra, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and even the new Vivo flagships with the extender kit simply make more sense in India because they offer better network support, after-sales support, resale value, software optimization, and hassle-free ownership. You see this smile? It's a smile of contentment when you can jam-pack so much into one episode. Let me walk you through all of it yet again. There's AI, mobility, paddle, pickle as social media phenomena, and of course AI, tech, and auto. All things dear to us and of course close to your heart as well. We hope you've enjoyed this particular episode of Tech 360. My name is Ayush Alavadi. Until next week, adios.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
मीठा या नमकीन चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद हर रोज।
High rate, check the audio. High rate, check the audio. Let's do it. Let's start.
Breaking story, we're jumping straight into it.
We've got a picture of the letter. What is in your letter? You can never predict what's going to happen in Tamil Nadu politics. 21 days in Kashmir. Unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground. Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
For a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship. The line of control, Shivarur, NDTV.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
Economy, business, world, technology. Noise filtered, numbers decoded. Insights that rewire your worldview. From governance to growth, we connect the dots. Your daily edge, your global advantage. India Business Report with me, Gauri Dwivedi, weeknights on NDTV Profit.
DK Shivakumar is the breaking news. Here's the breaking news. DK Shivakumar has been elected as the CLP leader. So that's done. That puts an end to, people disappearing into their chambers. But, from here, it becomes the more routine stuff. Now it's about the swearing in, which we understand is going to happen on the 3rd, which is on Wednesday. I spoke to DK Shivakumar's astrologer yesterday. There were a bunch of dates that have been given as well.
The crown of thorns.
So I think any last, possibility of speculation ends now. It's done. It's done and dusted.
Yeah, I think it's fairly clear. The path is clear. The only speculation is about how many deputy CMs they will be and who they might be and who the KPCC president may be. These sorts of things. There's still lots of curiosity, but the main thing is settled. There can't be any doubts about it.
Surbi, I want to bring you in. It's raining heavily. Sorry about that we had to come into this car park now to report live. But how does the BJP see it? I don't know what else to ask you at this point of time. And I know that the BJP has already begun its strategy against the new chief minister even before he takes over. But what would you say today? The politics seems to have ended. The BJP may have been waiting for an opportunity to see some rumblings of discontent. The Congress has pulled it off pretty smoothly.
Well, it's pulled it off smoothly in the last 3 days. It has not pulled it off smoothly in the last 3 years. So I don't think that, we feel like this is a smooth transition because the entire of Karnataka.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Anusha Soni. Congress party has unanimously elected DK Shivakumar as the CLP leader, and there is action and some violence that has been reported in the state of West Bengal as well. Much more lined up on this edition. First, the headlines. Congress unanimously elects DK Shivakumar as its legislature party leader. CLP hails Siddu government model and legacy. Venugopal calls Congress a big family. An NDTV news break confirmed DK Shivakumar Chief Minister oath ceremony to take place on the 3rd of June at around 4 p.m. New cabinet formula yet to be ascertained. And TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee heckled by public during his visit to post-poll violence workers in West Bengal Sonarpur. TMC blames BJP for attack. BJP denies the charge. National outrage continues over the NEET UG paper leak. Centre assures that Prime Minister is personally monitoring the NEET retest procedure. Education Minister vows justice for student as Air Force roped for tighter security.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
And in a shocking incident, TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee has been heckled in West Bengal Sonarpur area. Abhishek Banerjee was attacked and allegedly eggs were thrown at him while his visit to Sonarpur. He was in the area to meet the party workers who were affected by violence following the party's debacle in the assembly election. The crowds who confronted Abhishek Banerjee, the nephew of the former Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee, also raised slogans including "Chor" against him. A video of the incident has gone viral on social media. Banerjee, in a white shirt and a cricket helmet, walked amidst a sea of shouting people as they pushed and grabbed him. Abhishek Banerjee has alleged that this was pre-planned and a BJP-sponsored attack. He's also alleged that it was an attempt to kill him. Listen in.
পুরো ঘটনার ডিটেইলস আমাদের কাছে তো রেকর্ডেড রয়েছে, তাই তো এরা এড়িয়ে যেতে পারবে না। আমি এই ঘটনাকে কেন্দ্র করে আমি হাইকোর্টেও যাব, আমি সুপ্রিম কোর্টেও যাব। যারা বাংলায় বলতো না জঙ্গল রাজ চলছে, 15 বছরে কোনোদিন বাংলায় এই ঘটনা মানুষ দেখেনি। যারা আগে বিরোধী দলের রাজনীতি করতো, 10টা করে গাড়ি নিয়ে কেন্দ্রীয় বাহিনী নিয়ে রাজনীতি করতো। কেন্দ্রীয় বাহিনী নিয়ে রাজনীতি হয় না। যারা আমাদের কটাক্ষ করতো যে আমরা বিশাল পুলিশের কনভয় নিয়ে ঘুরে বেড়াই, আজকে কিছু নেই তাও মানুষের সাথে। আর এই সরকারের থেকে আমি নিরাপত্তা আশাও করি না।
We're very unfaithful, but what to do, you see, because this is the anger of the public which has come out. Now this particular place, Sonarpur, why I am so confidently speaking about this place is, in 2021, when the post-poll violence was faced by people of this particular area, I had visited this place. You know, houses of more than 800 people were burnt and brought to ashes. People had to flee from the area. They could not stay there. So this kind of violence was done there. So I completely understand that what is the outrage and anger of the public which is coming out. But even then, I would say that we do not support any such kind of act or activity. Nobody should take law in their hands. You know, whatever is happening against him, whether chore or anything like as such, all the investigation and the process of law is taking its own course. Because CBI is doing the investigation and processes are there on the way which is going on. So everything will happen according to law. People should not take law in their hands.
This is the anger of the people of Bengal against Abhishek Banerjee. And the anger is so high that the individuals from people from Bengal took the law in their own hand. It is extremely unfortunate that they took the law in their own hand. So the police and the required investigative agencies will investigate the matter. the police personnel and the security personnel were present, and in fact they were those who helped Abhishek Banerjee by restricting the individuals who threw eggs on Mr. Abhishek Banerjee and were extremely angry against Abhishek Banerjee for his massive appeasement and maladministration in the last 15 years. Whatever be the reason, there is no justification for taking law in their own hand. This calls for two things. A, the investigation which will happen in a dispassionate manner because it's the BJP government, not the TMC government. And under a BJP government, irrespective of political ideologies, you will see investigation taking place. And B, it is also time for Mr. Abhishek Banerjee to self-reflect that that despite the government out of power of Trinamool Congress, the frustration and the anger in the people of Bengal is so high against the TMC that they are willing to take the law in their own hand and throw eggs at Abhishek Banerjee.
My colleague Shreyashi Day is joining us live from Kolkata, getting us more perspective. Shreyashi, tell us more about this incident. What are the first-person accounts that you're picking up from the ground? Because clearly it has become a political battle between the TMC and the BJP.
Well, this was a pre-scheduled visit of the TMC National General Secretary at the homes of those who were allegedly attacked in post-poll violence, who are TMC workers. And he had visited Beleghata before heading to Sonarpur. In between, of course, he was served a CID notice. But what we are picking up is that the angry locals there harassed him, and hurled eggs and, even dirty mud on him when the police reached there and tried to frisk him away from those angry mobs. These are, of course, the local residents of Sonarpur where he was visiting. Especially the women were seen raising slogans of and calling him a thief. And this has been the sentiment that has been coming out from Kolkata as well. Outside his residence, people have been going there and raising slogans against the Trinamool Congress and the party, especially Abhishek Banerjee, who was, of course, handling the organization of the party before the poll debacle here on the 4th of May. So, of course, this entire incident is now under police investigation. The central force had to come in and take Mr. Banerjee away from that mob that had completely taken over of this entire incident. And now he has alleged and said that this was done at the behest of the BJP. But the BJP has rubbished the allegations and said that a fair investigation will be done by the government.
Shreyashi, there is a history of violence in this particular area where Abhishek Banerjee was visiting, and he wanted to reach out to the political party workers as well, the TMC workers. Unfortunately, certain districts and areas of West Bengal have had a history of political violence. What exactly really happened in the last few days that prompted the visit of Abhishek Banerjee?
Right on the 4th of May, the Trinamool Congress alleged that their party workers were being attacked and some had lost life. And there was a case that was filed before the Calcutta High Court where TMC chief Mamata Banerjee herself had gone there to argue for the case along with former Minister Chandrima Bhattacharya. But what we understand that this incident was not a link that the West Bengal, political landscape has already deep-rooted history of. This was locals who were angry against Mr. Banerjee and his party, and especially Gheraud Abhishek Banerjee and his team there, and started raising slogans. This was pure anger from the people of Sonarpur that was seen today when he was visiting families of Trinamool Congress who had been allegedly attacked in post-poll violence on the 4th of May.
All right, my colleague getting us all the details, and as Shreyashi was pointing out that when the assembly election results were out, there were allegations that were being made by the TMC that there are attacks happening against the leaders. Shreyashi, the BJP spokesperson with us on the broadcast assured that there would be proper investigation in this matter, political differences aside. You pointed out how the central forces had to intervene. There was indeed security around Abhishek Banerjee. So what exactly happened that the security was completely overpowered by the number of people, the sheer number of people who were present there?
Well, as the visuals, you can see the kind of mob that had, gathered there. These are locals of Sonarpur. It was a pre-planned, scheduled visit of the Trinamool Congress National General Secretary. So people were aware that he was coming here and going to be visiting the area. But what we saw was mostly women coming out in large numbers and making allegations, calling him a thief, because the kind of corruption that has taken place under the Trinamool Congress government, and this is the kind of sentiment that we have been noticing in the past as well, where Trinamool Congress leaders were being attacked across districts here in West Bengal, where the locals have been alleging that the party that was once in power here in West Bengal had indulged in grassroots level corruption. And that kind of anger was seen pouring out today in Sonarpur when the National General Secretary had stepped out. This was the first public visit of Abhishek Banerjee since the drubbing in the elections here in West Bengal.
Shreyashi, getting us all those details. Abhishek Banerjee putting some very serious allegations. He has argued that these were in fact the BJP workers who targeted him. The BJP, of course, has denied all these claims. And it is the DK Sarkar in the state of Karnataka. DK Shivakumar stakes claim as the next chief minister. The image is on your screen right now, staking claim to form the government with the governor. He is, of course, chosen as the leader of the legislative party in the state. A convention, a procedure that had to be followed. We saw the last minute confusion, the last minute suspense that prevailed for several hours as the shift of power within the Congress party happened. Deepak Bopanna is joining us live, getting us more details on this story. Deepak, tell us more about this taking of claim. Of course, it's a convention that has to be followed, and after his election as a CLP leader, this had to happen. The swearing in on the 3rd of June, electric atmosphere.
Yes, we did see a frenzy of sorts when the leaders were leaving from here, headed towards the governor's office. I believe my colleague Ritu has just put out those pictures as well for our viewers from the governor's office. We can put that out on our screens, where the governor is right in between, where Mr. DK Shivakumar is taking claim to become the next chief minister of Karnataka. Formally, of course, the CLP got over a little while ago. I have Mr. TB Jayachandra, senior Congress leader, legislator, and of course a former minister himself. Tell us firstly, sir, what happened in the Congress legislature party meet? Was everything very smooth? Tell us bit by bit, if you could take our viewers through, because we were not inside, you were inside. Our viewers would like to know what exactly transpired.
Congress Legislature Party met at 4:30, and all the AICC General Secretaries, former Chief Minister and new leader to be elected, they are all in the meeting.
Yeah.
It is unanimously decided. Unanimously decided. And we have placed the records, since Siddaramaiah has resigned, his services and place were placed on the record. And there was a lot of appreciation from all over. At the same time, Siddaramaiah proposed a new leader, new CLP leader, DK Shivakumar as the leader.
Yeah.
And it is seconded and unanimously adopted by all the legislators who have assembled there. So it is a unanimous decision, no hanky-panky, anything. It is with love and affection it has been decided.
So is everything going to be smooth henceforth? Because you also have the cabinet formation that needs to come by. You yourself have been a minister before. Are you hopeful of post again? And do you feel that this cabinet decisions, this is also going to be as peaceful as this transition has been?
Yes. I am a legislator since 49 years. I have made my request to the High Command also to consider my services and the seniority also. Let us see what they will do.
Thank you for speaking to NDTV, sir. Also, my colleague Ritu, of course, who's been battling it out on the ground, bringing us minute-by-minute updates as to what's happening in the CLP, brought us voices unheard in any other channel, only here on NDTV. Ritu, tell us, we are coming, it's almost like we've been tracking these updates over the last several months, finally culminating into this moment where you have the new leader of the Congress Legislature Party who's been elected. He's at the governor's office taking claim. We've seen it really come to this moment, and we've been exhausted, but it's been a roller coaster. Tell us how it was at the CLP. Were emotions really high? I'm sure legislators close to Mr. Siddaramaiah had their own emotions, some of them trying to hide it, some of them expressing it. Take us through those moments.
Well, of course, Deepak, the kind of atmosphere was in CLP this time. It was high with the emotions because we do know that the outgoing Chief Minister Siddaramaiah apparently had also given his speech out thanking all the legislature, because he says he's always somebody who's believed in unity as such. He's always wanted people to be together, and his leaders as well. So, of course, it was a moment for him to thank all his colleagues. So he has done it. He has also, in fact, spoken about the kind of initiatives that he has taken it in the party for the leaders, even as for that matter for the public of almost 7 crore of Kannadigas here in the state as well. So yes, he has thanked it all. We then see how the dais was taken over by DK Shivakumar as well. So there is, a switch in the whole of that emotions kind of a thing, that now, of course, all the legislators will have to be prepared to take forward DK Shivakumar as such in a united manner as such. So yes, there was a further note that was delivered by DK Shivakumar to now. It would be really interesting for us to see how is that, even as Siddaramaiah thanks the 7 crore Kannadigas, how is that the responsibility of the 7 crore Kannadigas, the DK Shivakumar is going to take it up, and the kind of moves that he is going to have, that will be interesting.
Absolutely. Now, a leader's role doesn't limit himself to his supporters. It also, of course, involves people who may be against him, trying to bring them into the fold and ensure that everything remains in track for the Congress party to continue to perform well. So these are the challenges that lie ahead for the new CLP leader, and of course the person who's going to become the new Chief Minister of Karnataka. It is always never going to be easy for any sitting Chief Minister. There are going to be challenges, but of course how he tackles them will define whether he will emerge as one of those leaders in Karnataka who will go on to leave behind a legacy, or is it just going to be a mere transition? So a lot to watch out for. The opposition BJP is also going to be monitoring all of this very closely. We've definitely not seen the end of drama and Nataka in Karnataka. Back to you in the studios.
Thank you, Deepak, and thank you, Ritu, for putting all of that into perspective, and thank you for getting us all the action that is happening in the state of Karnataka. As my colleagues reported, Karnataka will usher in a new political chapter on the 3rd of June, with DK Shivakumar set to be sworn in as the next Chief Minister. The formal election of DK Shivakumar as the Congress Legislature party leader paved the way for the oath-taking ceremony, marking the beginning of a new administration in the state. Even as preparations gather pace for the swearing-in, attention will remain focused on the composition of the new cabinet. Key decisions on the Deputy Chief Minister's ministerial berths are expected to reflect the party's regional and caste balancing strategy. With the leadership issues settled, all eyes will be on the new Karnataka cabinet, the team that will govern the state with about 15 to 16 months to go for the state elections.
Congress High Command suggested the name of DK Shivakumar, Deputy Chief Minister, as the leader of Congress Legislative Party. Siddaramaiah ji proposed the name of DK Shivakumar, and Dr. Parameshwara seconded it. I would like to proudly announce that Karnataka Legislative Party unanimously elected DK Shivakumar as the leader of the Legislative Party of Karnataka Congress. Now he is going to the governor for taking claim as a Chief Minister, and is going to take oath as a Chief Minister along with his team on third evening. Everybody thought that this transition going to be a trouble for Congress party. Everybody anticipated that.
The media friends.
Some of them, you people are also thought that big shake is going to happen in the Congress party. Ours is a family. Ours is a family, great family. Everybody was behind Siddaramaiah ji. What Siddaramaiah ji is going to do? But with one word he replied, in his heart only Congress is there. The decision of the Congress High Command, the decision of the party is the decision of Siddaramaiah ji also. He proved it in a bigger way. Smooth transition of power has been happened in Karnataka. Therefore, now onwards, under the leadership of DK Shivakumar, Congress is going to come back again with support of Siddaramaiah. You take it from us, 2028, Congress is going to come back again in Karnataka with the support of all leaders.
The next Chief Minister is making his way out, and there is a little bit of a frenzy here with a lot of policemen trying to contain the crowds. There he is. There he is. The next Chief Minister of Karnataka. Loud clearing has begun. Escorts trying to, of course, contain the crowds. Huge number of people around him. Very difficult for him at this point in time. Now there he has the signatures probably of the legislators, and here you can see the view. Not wanting to speak, but definitely so much happening. Come here. No statement from him. It looks like he's decided that he won't be speaking, at least for now. But you can see how things are unfolding. There you have it. He's stepping out, and on the other side, Mr. Siddaramaiah stepping out. Mr. Surjewala is here. I'm going to try and get a word from him. Sir, how smooth was the CLP, sir? Siddaramaiah, sir, would you like to say something, sir? Sir, the entire country is listening. Would you like to say something, sir? Would you like to say something? Okay, Mr. KC Venugopal accompanying Mr. Siddaramaiah. They are all together headed to the governor. It looks like huge number of people really here. Quite difficult. You can see, I'm going to ask my video journalist to say on these pictures. Quite dramatic. The space has really reduced much more than you usually have in Vidhan Sabha because the rains hasn't really helped the situation. And a lot of supporters as well, all of a sudden gathering, has also made it very tricky. And I'm just going to take a moment to grab my breath. With all the pushing and pulling that was happening here, it was quite tricky to manage this entire situation. Sir, can you tell us, we're witnessing a historic moment. Tell us how the CLP meeting went.
आज CLP मीटिंग में हाईकमांड ने और ऑल MLAs मिलके DK साहब को CLP का लीडर बनाया है, और जून 3 इवनिंग DK साहब ने CMO के प्रमाण वचन लेता है जी।
And with the Chief Minister tussle and governance drama being finally resolved in Karnataka, all eyes will now be on DK Shivakumar's governance. Politics has already erupted in the state. BJP has taken a dig at DK Shivakumar by posting an AI-generated video of the leader being stuck in Bengaluru floods. As DKS takes over, the big questions are being proposed as to whether the leader will be able to fix the civic problems in Bengaluru, the IT capital of the country. From guarantees to the Megidatu water-sharing war with Tamil Nadu to rural issues, DK Shivakumar's handling of the key issues will be very closely watched.
Hi guys, ನನ್ನ ಚಾನೆಲ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಟೂರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು, ನನ್ನ ಸ್ವಂತ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬನ್ನಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಟಾಪ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಕ್ವಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್. ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತು ಬೇಜಾರಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಈಜಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಫೀಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಹೊಸ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಈಜು ಭಾಗ್ಯ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಹೆಬ್ಬಾಲ ಫ್ಲೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಲೈಓವರ್. ವೆನಿಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್? ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ವಾಟರ್ ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್. ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಫೇವರೇಟ್ ಬೆಳ್ಳಂದೂರು ಫೋಮ್ ಸ್ಪಾ. 100% ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಮುಖ ತೊಳೆದ್ರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ಲೋ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಪಾಗೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ. IT ಕಂಪನಿಯವರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಔಟರ್ ರಿಂಗ್ ರೋಡ್ ಸಬ್ಮರೀನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಕಾರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಕೂತ್ರೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಟೈಟಾನಿಕ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್. ರೋಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಂಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹುಡ್ಕೋಕೆ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಾಡಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸೋನಾರ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬೇಕು.
That story and much more up on our website. With that, it's a wrap on this edition. Thank you so much for watching.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program. Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary and this is Limelight.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
Launch control 0 to 100.
This isn't just about cars and bikes. This is about how you move. This car makes no sense, yet it makes every sense. What you're sitting inside is a Joby-powered air taxi. Your friend said, "Ye le le." We said, maybe not. Hi, my name is Siddharth Sharma. I'm your NDTV Automate, your ultimate guide into the world of automobiles and mobility.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day. Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
DK Shivakumar is the breaking news. Here's the breaking news. DK Shivakumar has been elected as the CLP leader. So that's done. That puts an end to, people disappearing into their chambers. But, from here, it becomes the more routine stuff. Now it's about the swearing in, which we understand is going to happen on the 3rd, which is on Wednesday. I spoke to DK Shivakumar's astrologer yesterday. There were a bunch of dates that have been given as well.
The crown of thorns.
So I think any last, possibility of speculation ends now. It's done. It's done and dusted.
Yeah, I think it's fairly clear. The path is clear. The only speculation is about how many deputy CMs they will be, and who they might be, and who the KPCC president may be. These sorts of things. There's still lots of curiosity, but the main thing is settled. There can't be any doubts about it.
Surbi, I want to bring you in. It's raining heavily. Sorry about that we had to come into this car park now to report live. But how does the BJP see it? I don't know what else to ask you at this point of time. And I know that the BJP has already begun its strategy against the new chief minister even before he takes over. But what would you say today? The politics seems to have ended. The BJP may have been waiting for an opportunity to see some rumblings of discontent. The Congress has pulled it off pretty smoothly.
Well, it's pulled it off smoothly in the last 3 days. It has not pulled it off smoothly in the last 3 years. So I don't think that, we feel like this is a smooth transition, because the entire of Karnataka has been like, when is this going to happen? Finally, it's happened. So it's a sigh of relief, because people want to get away from this constant who's going to be chief minister, who's not, and get to the governance part of it, get to the administration part of it. Now the real, hard work needs to happen. Now it's going to start. But if you're going by the record of the Congress party, I think that we're going to have a lot of fodder for a lot of issues for the opposition in the next 2 years, just by the fact that Mr. DK Shivakumar, Shiv, you're seeing it rain here today. You saw it yesterday as well. It'll take 5 minutes for Bengaluru to start flooding.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of journalists post about how you don't have to make a trip to Venice, it's right here. It'll take 5 minutes. A big challenge of Bengaluru's infrastructure that the DCM could not solve. Now you have no hurdle, now you have no excuses. The entire government administration is in your hands. You have not done a GB election.
I've said it. No country in the world is going to be putting in $12 billion other than India for a plane which is obsolete before it enters service. There, I've said it.
But let's be very clear. HAL right now is a very socialist Soviet era lumbering Sarkari PSU corporation setup.
I think there needs to be a reality check on what HAL can and cannot do. Do you know how much we have invested in Tejas Mark 1?
Hello and welcome back to the Control All Defense podcast with Vishnu and me. This is episode 43, but it's also a bit of a bonus episode because we wanted to throw that in just to make it up to you, our loyal viewers and listeners, because we know we haven't done enough. So to prove in year 2 of this amazing podcast that we really are committed to doing more than you expect, here's a bonus episode we're giving to you in less than 1 week.
No, but Shiv, can I interrupt you? Because I often do that. I see you're having your coffee, right? You know what goes really well with coffee?
What?
Here, I have this gift for you.
Melody. Okay, so he's sweetening the deal, as it were. Nobody can stay away from Melody. I really love these toffees, by the way.
I must confess, I never did. It got stuck in my teeth.
They're amazing, and I've loved them my entire life, long before they became a viral trend right now. But so Vishnu, the bonus episode that we're doing today is because Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has a new chairman and managing director in Ravi K. There's so much to discuss when it comes to HAL. So Vishnu and I thought it's a fantastic occasion to put the spotlight on Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, which is a hugely important company, and to talk about all of the things that people talk about when HAL comes up. It's a nice opportunity to pick up all the projects, pick up all the controversies, pick up the priorities, and kind of just run them through the ringer here on this podcast. So,
and neither Shiv or I are anti-HAL, because a lot of people, on our feedback in previous episodes
think we're anti-HAL.
We are import lobby and we are import Bahadur and all of that. There's nothing in the world which would make us happier than to be 100% Atmanirbhar. Now that doesn't happen because it's just unrealistic. And we believe in HAL. And if we are critical of HAL, it's not because we are doing it for the sake of being critical of us or pushing an import. It's because it hurts us, in a sense, to not see HAL in some areas achieve its potential.
Well said. And it really is about that. HAL is a company that we've been covering our entire careers. We've known all the people who've headed the company, the spokespersons, the engineers, the scientists there. They're all, either valued people from our defense ecosystem, or they're actually friends. So Vishnu and I have visited HAL many times in the past as well. So all we wish for is a strong and powerful and a credible HAL, because this is a country that really needs a strong aerospace ecosystem.
100%.
And we can't think of an aerospace ecosystem without HAL. No matter what the private sector does, HAL is going to be a fixture. So let's start by talking about the biggest perhaps project right now, which is the Tejas Mark 1A, Vishnu. And the new chairman's priority is going to have to be to make sure that there are no further delays. There are already, I just checked, the Tejas Mark 1 is 180 which are on order, split between 2 orders of 83 and 97, was supposed to begin deliveries in February 2024. So we are now about 2 years and a few months of slippage, of delay. The delays are largely because of the lack of engine deliveries in a timely manner from General Electric in the United States. But also, as we saw in that famous flare-up by the air chief at Aero India, also because of certification and integration delays, for which HAL is allegedly to blame for that. They've been accused of being lackadaisical.
And that continues. And the aircraft, now you've got about 8 odd planes, which are ready in all respects, except you've got systems which aren't working.
So you've got 5 aircraft.
Or aren't fully tested.
So you've got 5 aircraft which are all up ready for delivery according to HAL. You've got 9 others that are fully certified and ready apparently, but they're awaiting their engines. 6 engines have been delivered. So they're flying on different other engines. And they've also had talks with the Indian Air Force and come to an agreement on that production and delivery rate. Before we move on from the Tejas, we have to discuss it, because the Tejas Mark 1A now, according to the Secretary of Defense Production who was speaking at another media event, he says this financial year we're definitely going to see the first Tejas Mark 1As delivered. And my head kind of exploded a little, because this financial year means before March next year. Before the end of March next year. That's a long margin. No, I thought they were going to be delivered in June.
I thought they'd be delivered a few years back. No, but look, you mentioned February 2024. These were public statements. After that, it slipped to late 2024. It then moved to early 2025. It would then move to March 2026. Now we are hearing between June and September 2026. So this is a project for an aircraft which isn't a 6th generation fighter. It's not even a 5th generation fighter. Where we are spending a huge amounts of money and we still can't get the technology right, because the engines have started coming in. Nobody is blaming HAL for non-delivery of engines by General Electric. I believe they've been, there are financial sums which they've had to sort of, pay
penalize them
non-delivery of those engines or late delivery of those engines. But right now, the Air Force has been told that, look, you need to loosen some of your standards, bring them down so that HAL's compliance mandate is met and we can give the aircraft. But the Air Force says that, look, we can only bring down our requirements to that extent, to a certain extent. Beyond that, it's not viable. The plane itself is not viable. The basic things they want is that the missiles all have to be tested. The radar has to be tested in all modes. It's an Israeli radar, the ELTA 2050 to begin with, before an Indian radar replaces it, an Indian AESA down the road. But right now, whether the electronic warning system is talking to the radar and the electronic interface of the aircraft, offensive and defensive systems, are working in unison to or at a standard where we can say, okay, fine, go ahead and let's just take the aircraft. That's not happened. So there are these meetings which are held, I think, in Air Force headquarters quite frequently, where the same issue keeps coming up, with the Air Force saying that, no, you have to give us the plane at this operational standard. We'll take it. It's built. But it's for you to actually do it. So the problems which actually exist are beyond the engines. Those are coming slowly but surely. HAL has to now integrate the aircraft to a standard, the minimum standard which the Air Force accepts, and that's not yet happened.
So the aircraft which HAL says are fully certified and ready for delivery are not fully certified and ready for delivery.
The Air Force says it's not met some critical requirements. It has to do with the electronic warfare system and its integration with the radar. This is just the one public thing that came up. But it has to do with software integration primarily, without which, you can't fly that in combat. You fly that, the Air Force says the following. You accept that aircraft, you've got essentially, and they'll never say this in the same words, so I am, you've essentially got a flying circus. Great aircraft, extremely maneuverable, does really fancy loops and rolls and inverted turns and what have you. It builds certainly on the Tejas Mark 1, but without being formidably ahead of the Tejas Mark 1, it's not where we want to be at all, because ultimately the Tejas Mark 1A is not what we want. We want the Tejas Mark 2. That has not even been prototyped at this stage. But before I'm accused of being far too negative, this is the challenge that the new HAL chairman has to deal with. And this needs some incredible engineering. And I just hope That, it's one thing for you and I to shout that, where are the planes, why haven't they been delivered? It's something else for them to have the ability of doing this. And God forbid we get into a scenario where they're unable to integrate to the level the Air Force wants.
And they've got to bring in consultants or foreign advisors.
Which then you kick that down by years.
Or get the Air Force to lower its compliance even further. But they can't do it with this.
Which is unacceptable. Yeah. Which is unacceptable by any standard. And look, Shiv, just since we are on timelines, the initial prototype rollout for the Tejas Mark II was August 2022, just a prototype, all right? That was rescheduled to December 2023. The first flight was originally slated for 2023, then pushed to December 2024.
You're talking about the Tejas Mark II?
Yeah, I've now moved on to the
LCA
Tejas
Mark II.
Yeah. The first flight was then later revised to October 2025. As of today, it's not even been rolled out.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to have been in a very advanced state of flight testing at this stage.
Yeah. No, the slippages in the Mark II we'll come to in just a moment. But I just want to conclude the Tejas Mark 1A bit by saying that this is by far the biggest priority, you'd say, Vishnu, for the new
100%.
chairman. Because the credibility, as far as any other project, any further orders, not that the Indian Air Force really has a choice in the matter, would hang on what they deliver in these few months now.
Shiv,
between June and September, like you said.
Just a reminder, do you know how much we have invested in Tejas Mark 1A?
Yeah.
$11.45 billion. Let's break that down into rupees. The tranche 1 order was for 83 fighters. That translated into 48,000 crore rupees.
Yeah.
Tranche 2, 97 aircraft. That translated into 62,370. Right. Now you convert that entire amount into dollars. That's $11.45 billion.
Yeah, it's huge.
For an aircraft many say will never be a true threat to the Chinese. And we've not even inducted one.
Yeah.
And we've got numbers for Tejas Mark II, because once those start coming online, these numbers, and the Air Force I think wants about 110 or 120 of them. And that'll be considerably more expensive than Tejas, because it'll have a new engine.
Yeah.
It'll have the G414 engine, far more powerful.
So the indications are that these certification and integration issues continue to be challenges for HAL. The last formal window for delivery that you provided, that HAL provided, Vishnu, was between June and September. But the Secretary Defence Production has given a new spin to it and said this financial year. So not September, but March 2027 becomes the outer limit window for delivery. And this is important to emphasize because a few months of delay makes all the difference in the world to the Indian Air Force, as we've seen. We are currently at 2 years and 4 months off deadline.
Yeah.
And by March, it becomes 3 years and 1 month of delay on an aircraft type, like you said, that is never going to be a serious threat or a challenge
Shiv,
to
I've
the
got
capability
details.
that China is already deploying right now.
Now, let me add to what I was saying. This is an article by the New Indian Express.
Yeah.
The electronic warfare and ASA radar synchronization hasn't taken place till recently. In fact, I'm not sure it's fully been integrated as we speak. So the core integration challenge involves getting the Israeli-made ELTA 2052 ASA radar, which is assembled under license by HAL, to communicate seamlessly with the aircraft's upgraded electronic warfare suite and the central mission computer.
Yeah.
If you don't get that done, despite the software complexity, then allowing the sensors, jammer pods, and the threat library algorithms to synchronize without the intervention of the pilot doesn't
It's not a
take
full
place.
fighter. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put the Tejas Mark 1A aside. I think we've established that is the priority numero uno. There's no question about it. Now let's go to the other big project that they've had that's also faced some trouble, which is the Dhruv Advanced Light Helicopter. The Prachand, which is a spin-off attack helicopter where they've received massive orders as well. Vishnu, the Dhruv has been grounded since last year. Kind of on and off grounded in the sense that some services have been have put their aircraft back in the air. During Operation Sindoor, we saw the Army Dhruvs flying again because of sheer necessity. They needed those airframes in the air for scout operations in the urban areas especially, and in support of the Army. The Coast Guard helicopters, I'm guessing, are not yet in the air. Neither are the Navies. But this continues to be a challenge for HAL. There have been reports, Rahul Singh and others have reported in the Hindustan Times that, they've basically arrived at some kind of a design or an engineering fix for the control rods, etc. But that continues to be a challenge, like a full green light for that fleet.
The Coast Guard and the Navy ALH Mark IV helicopters are now progressively entering service. Re-entering service.
Yeah.
The reason it's taking time is because there needs to be a fix implemented, as I understand it, in every aircraft. And at the very least, every aircraft, helicopter, has to be inspected to a particular standard, which is extremely time consuming. It's not, सुबह गाड़ी को दे देंगे, शाम को गाड़ी वापस ले लीजिए, servicing हो गया. It's not exactly like that. But I think to the larger point that HAL's reputation has suffered massively because of crashes of the latest variants of the ALH Dhruv. January 2025, an ALH Coast Guard crashed. September 2024.
That was the one that triggered the grounding.
Yeah, no, that is September 2024. Before that,
yeah,
and ALH ditched its right. March 2024, an ALH experienced a technical malfunction, made an emergency landing. March 2023, an Army ALH crashed. March 2023, series of incidents occurred involving a Navy ALH suddenly experiencing loss of power, etc., etc. October 22, a major fatal crash involving an Army Rudra. January 2022, an ALH Dhruv crashed in Kathua in Jammu and Kashmir. Not all of these are HAL's fault, but I think the Navy and the Coast Guard ones, they are very serious issues. And if you look at the schematics and the character and the features of the ALH Mark IV, it's world class in every sense, but it has to be reliable. It has to be safe.
Yeah.
The fact that you kitted that out with the radar, you kitted that out with, a heavy machine gun if you want to use it against pirates and the like. It's a formidable, excellent glass cockpit, as advanced as any helicopter on Earth. Extremely high power engine. The Shakti series of engines have been superb. But, there is a concern over, as I understand, the bearing and certain hinges.
Safety issues.
Of that helicopter, the linkages to the propellers, to the rotors themselves, the rotor itself, which needs to be looked at. And I think that's something that HAL has now got a fix to. But I think what's happened as a result is that this very fine helicopter is never going to be internationally, purchased in the numbers that you seek. They've already tried to sell it in South America in the past. And also, again, perhaps for no reason necessarily of their own, there were crashes which took place. And that was a problem. And so they never really got on and were able to successfully market this helicopter, which should have been a formidable helicopter. I mean, we've both seen how brilliant it is.
And we've both traveled in them as well.
In Siachen and places. It's incredible.
The fact is that the Dhruv was, like you rightly said, meant to be by now a kind of workhorse that was just churned out in large numbers across military and civilian customers in the region. At least South America was a bit of a mess up over there with Ecuador, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to require the chairman's attention as well, because the Dhruv is like the sort of centerpiece of sort of two other helicopter types. One is the Prachand, which are
spin-offs of the Dhruv.
Of the attack helicopter. About 156 on order. A few have been delivered. They're already operational in Jodhpur and in Leh. Fine helicopters, but the engineering and the design is the same. So they will have to see some design changes and replacements as well, those fixes. So I won't go into the Prachand because that is pretty much the Dhruv story as well. That's going to be a priority area because HAL's credibility on the ALH, Vishnu, is in many ways bigger than the Tejas, because the ALH was an HAL project. It was an internal HAL project with some design advisory from the Germans at that time, but it was a HAL product. The Tejas, one could argue, is a product that was made by the Aeronautical Development Agency with DRDO and other laboratories. But the Dhruv is an HAL baby, and they're very proud of